Hello. Now we go into the topic of staffing. So under staffing, there will be three subtopics. The first subtopic is staffing for food service. So the human element is actually the important part in a food service, as a good worker can ensure the success of a food service industry. So, however, an employer should remember that good salary does not mean that the employee will be happily working for him or her. So, open communication should be encouraged, is whether the employer to the employee or employee to the employer. Internal promotions must be available. Stress reduction between ranks should be promoted. Employee financial aids should be provided. Sense of belonging and comfortable work environment should be provided to the employee. So for staffing, a food service outlet or a establishment should have a detailed plan with how many numbers of workers should they hire. This is also divided to the area of production, service, and also include the elements of how you schedule your workers, how you provide them training, and what kind of responsibilities should they assign to. So actually, employees in a food service industry, they have the rights of their own. They have the rights to be treated as an individual and respected, rights to voice their own ideas and opinions in solving the problem, rights to recognize, to be recognized for contributing towards the common good or the common goal of the company, the rights to develop, make use of high capabilities. This is referring to the rights of getting to be trained or develop their own skills, the rights of fairness and justice in dealing with supervision. So the skill standards define the level of necessary to be successful for a job. So the benefits is if you have a detailed skill standards that you want for a potential candidate, the employers actually can use this to recruit, screen, place, train, and appraise work effectively, efficiently, and even just. So workers know what to expect for their work, know their responsibilities, and be better prepared. So labor organization can also increase employment security as they protect the interests of the employee. Students will also have a clear guideline in order to be trained for future employment. This is also correlate with the educators in the higher institution in how they design a good curriculum that can actually fulfill what the industry needs. So when a quality potential candidate is available, our food service industry actually can use this as to increase satisfaction for their customers. So in the process of hiring, there are few processes that follow through. The first is recruitment, the next is selection, then we move into interview, then we move, and from the interview, we move into the process of orientation, then training. So for recruitment, it is actually surveying and determine appropriate candidates for the position, and it must be stay in line within the regulations of the country. So where is your the source of recruitment is either internal or external. So for internal is within the working place or within the establishment, or external you go to schools, you go to employee agencies, employment agencies, or even labor policies, labor unions. Then you have the selection. You select the eligible candidate. Okay, it is important to not make any mistakes, because it will incur unnecessary costs for you to rehiring back the correct candidate. So it involves with an application form, then we move to interview or test. So for interview, actually the interview you have two types, whether face-to-face or through the telephone. So the purpose is to get information from the candidate and as well as give information about the establishment to the candidate. So the candidate actually needs to provide the required documents and even credentials as to evaluate, as some establishments also evaluate the candidate's fitness. So after interview, then you already select the proper candidate. Then that particular candidate will undergo orientation. So orientation is actually an induction program to introduce the establishment, how they work, what their policies are, to the new candidate. So these are the steps of included in a common orientation program. And throughout their working years, a candidate will also undergo training from time to time as to improve their performance. So the best is during initial period of employment. So there are three types of training. You have adult training, which is every participant or candidate is regarded as an adult learner. They learn by experience. Group training, so this is a very economical and very efficient way of training with an instructor. And on-the-job training, which is commonly conducted in food service industry, which a person is assigned to a supervisor, and they are taught several skills on how to actually conduct efficient production methods. So that is all under the subtopic of staffing for food service. We will meet again to another subtopic. Thank you.